we go. Welcome back to episode 225 of the Tall Boy Radio Podcast. And as we always say, who knows where it goes when the beer flows? Well, I'll tell you where it's flowing to tonight. It's flowing to the other side. But before we do that, let's flow to the other side of my study and say hello, Gaz.
Evening all, evening the world. I hope you're all well. I hope you're all living the dream every day. I'm looking forward to this episode. It's something that we've done a couple of podcasts about in the past, and it's always fascinating when we do talk about this particular topic, and it's great that we have a new guest on to our podcast, and again just gives a slightly different sort of slant on potentially a topic that we've looked at before, but as I say, a different perspective on things. So yeah, really looking forward to this. No doubt there'll be a left turn or two along the way, as we always say. But yeah, I'll leave it up to our guest to introduce himself and just give us a little bit of praise about what he does.
Indeed. Lee, did you want to say hello and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm basically Lee. As I normally say, the team will probably hate me for this, the Boo Brothers team, but I class myself as the lead investigator. Take the reins, that's what I normally say, but they always give me stick for it. Basically, we're a team of 4 who explore the paranormal, try and find evidence. We've been doing it now nearly 14 years.
Wow.
So yeah, we travel all over the UK, work with different teams as well. That's basically us in a nutshell.
In a nutshell, indeed. So 14 years is a long time to be looking into something like this.
It's not far off. It's not far off, 14 years.
Yeah, it's impressive. It's impressive. I'd be interested to know what it was that got you started on your travels into this.
Yeah, for me, it was actually my partner, Sarah, who got me into it. I was pretty much a skeptic. And then she took me along to the ghost hunts, is well, what people still call them now. Ghost hunts, and basically I felt something that I couldn't explain. So like I got a pull on the back of my jumper. So ever since then it was, why me? Why did you pull on me? Did you want my attention? And basically it's gone from there, really.
Fair play. Well, it's interesting, isn't it? And so many people that we speak to, and we've spoken to quite a few people now, haven't we, when we talked about the paranormal, and they all have that one sort of similar story to tell in terms of that they were on the fence or just flat out non-believers until they have an experience happen to them that they can't quite explain. And and then it sets off the old curious nerve. And it sets you off down a path investigating. So how did you meet the other guys then? How did you start up Boo Brothers, and what was the concept behind it?
Right. Okay. So basically, family. So my partner Sarah, she's co-founder of Boo Brothers. Then her mum Lynn, and my uncle, who's Des. That's our team of 4. Like I say, it's family. And to be fair, my uncle, I didn't even know my uncle believed in ghosts and, spirits until obviously I started going on ghost hunts and we invited him along, and he said, "Oh yeah, I've liked this for years." So basically it was, we used to go to these places with companies and stuff like that. Then we just realized it was not for us, being told what to do, how to do it, how long you get. So we set up Boo Brothers, and once a month we do investigations where people can come and join us.
Fair play. So like you say, do you then allow those people that time to do a little bit of that investigating by themselves? Or obviously, if you're not a fan of being told what to do, I'm guessing you're probably quite liberal, are you, in your approach when you're investigating these things?
Yeah, for obviously when we investigate, we do our own thing anyway. But when people come and join us on one of the investigations, we basically give them a rundown on where you can't go in certain buildings, what you can't touch. Then basically, as I say, is go on, off you pop on your own, off you go. If you want to go for a break, have a brew, fag, whatever, do it in your own time. Just be curious. Things that around you, yeah, and make sure that you're not actually involving or getting involved in other people's investigations who are there as well. Don't interrupt them.
So in terms of that, then, do you go to a known place, a known building, whatever it may be, that you know for a fact is haunted or has paranormal activity, and then in terms of, you've just said there, you let people sort of go and investigate on their own. What sort of type of recording equipment do you have? What sort of type of equipment do you have either set up in that place so that you can capture that, or is it sort of noise? Is it video? Is it combination of all the above?
It's basically, I think we've got every bit of equipment you can think of.
Right.
So we've got full spectrum cameras. We've got pretty much everything really. EVPs, normal cameras, night vision cameras. Basically, but people bring their own equipment anyway.
Right. Oh, okay.
So, but if people want to use our equipment, they're more than welcome to use it.
And do you, is it okay? Is it sort of 50-50 in terms of you hosting events and then people getting in contact with you saying, can you come and investigate either this house or this person, or I've had an experience? Do you do that, or is it more just you sort of, you host these events?
We've had a couple of cases actually, where we've been asked to go and find out what's in somebody's house or things like that. And we've
Yeah.
actually still on a case now. It's actually one of our mates, funnily enough. But when we host them, things like that, like say, we keep our prices to minimum as possible. We're
Yeah.
not about making money. We're not about profit, anything like that.
Yeah.
So it's just basically we split the cost between how many people want to do it and
Right.
ourselves, and we'll split the cost between ourselves and keep the price to a minimum.
Okay. So is this something that you do sort of in your part time? Is it a full time sort of thing? Do you all have sort of regular jobs, and this is just sort of something else?
Yeah, we all, well, three of us out the team work full
Right.
time. So I work in the aerospace industry, and then free time, we're pretty much in dark places, looking for things what go bump in the night, shall we say.
That's interesting, that, isn't it? Like you say, so aerospace, that's a pretty serious academic career to have. You know what I mean? So you're obviously a sensible fellow, not fond of
Wow, I won't go that far.
That's true. We did discuss football before we started. You make that sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your reaction to your colleagues then at work? What do they say when you tell them the stuff that you do on the weekend and that you're a Ghostbuster?
I don't kind of say I'm a Ghostbuster, because I know they'll take the piss, with my proton packs and all that. But no, you know, at first when people find out, you kind of get a few sly digs at you, a bit of a, well, just take it on the chin, and they might go and do things that I don't find interesting or things like that. So just take it on the
Absolutely.
chin. But the thing
Yeah.
is, when you tell them, it's always, "Oh, have you been this weekend? Did you catch anything? Did you hear anything?" They're always asking the questions.
Y yeah. I was
So
gonna say it's the skeptics that ask the question, isn't it? And they might not believe, but they're always interested. They're always,
yeah,
you know,
that's
"Oh,
it. That's it.
did you hear anything? Did you see anything? Did you capture anything?" And I can guarantee if you'd have turned around and said like, "Oh, yeah, we did." "Oh, go on, show us then." "Oh, let us have
Yeah,
a hit.
that's
Let's
it.
have a listen," or "Oh, show us on the ca," and you're like, "Oh, I didn't think you believe this." It's like, No, I don't. No, I don't." You know, and the skeptics are always the one that's the more curious, and I don't know whether that's just because of maybe a fear of the unknown, or they don't want to believe, therefore they want to sort of poo-poo whatever it is. And we've had a couple of people on
Yeah,
our podcast before now talking about, you know, if something moved or you saw something, you know, me and Adam would be like, "Oh, whoa, wow, what was that?" And like one of the other guys said, "Dave, it's just a fucking curtain moving, dude." Like, whereas me and Adam are like, "No, no, 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 it's definitely something." And I'm not saying it was a curtain. I'm not saying it wasn't, but like Dave would automatically default to the, "Nah, it's just a fucking curtain, mate." Whereas
yeah,
perhaps me and Adam would be like, "Oh, was that something?" And, "Oh no, we definitely need to check that out," type thing. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. That's it. But it's like you said, then the skeptics. It's always them. It's, "Oh, can I see that video?" You know,
Yeah.
it's like, for instance, we're in partnership with the Haunted Museum in Stoke-on-Trent.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so we're in partnership with them, and recently we've opened it up a little bit, shall we say. I don't really want to give too much away because it's, by my stand, I'd say that is probably the only place I can say which is haunted.
Yeah.
I'm about 99.9% sure that that is haunted. Whereas other places you go, 40, 50% sure. But hand on heart, I would say that is haunted. But anyway, going off there on my own. Um, yeah, we opened this new part up. I think it was opened up for 2, 3 weeks. We put a few haunted artifacts in there, and everything's under surveillance all the time.
Yeah.
And I think on the second or third week, we caught a shadow moving across the wall.
Right.
So, like I say, going back to the skeptics, it was, "Oh, let me see it. Can I see it?" And they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, that could be anything." I went, "No, it's pitch black in there. It can't be any light whatsoever."
Oh, fair play. See, in terms of the Haunted Museum Stoke, so we're not a million miles away from Stoke.
No.
I have contacted them in the past and asked if we could do a podcast from there. They said, "No, you can't, but you're more than welcome to visit anytime you like." So
Which is a shame because a podcast from there would be amazing.
it would be, but they've obviously
They've said
seen
no.
they've,
They've listened to us.
they've seen our previous form. They heard about what happened that time we did that one live broadcast from Scotland and everything went pear-shaped.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, he left me on a train.
Yeah, that's one version of events.
And that's what I'm sticking to.
until your version changes.
Yeah, exactly. We had a lot of beer. There was a lot of beer consumed. That's all I can tell you. So
No,
yeah,
fair enough.
it's one of those places that we do need to get around to
Yeah.
visit. It's probably something that we'll have to do and discuss afterwards. But like you said there, ladies, bits that you perhaps don't want to give away for people who want to go and enjoy it themselves. So can you tell us a little bit more about that and how that partnership came to be? You know, and the sort of things that people can experience there.
So the Haunted Museum, it's got over 450 documented artifacts in there.
Right.
So the 450 artifacts in there might have something with them, or they've been involved in something in the past.
Right. Okay.
So basically, if you do an investigation, you can book them out for team investigations, or you can join public ones. And basically, it's just a normal investigation where you go around the museum and try and find out what's in there, because obviously we don't know all the names in there yet.
Right.
Well, Boo Brothers don't. Boo Brothers don't. Obviously, the owners, Craig and Gemma, know because. So yeah. So it is a very, very interesting place.
So in terms of and you just mentioned that in terms of the sort of the artifacts or the haunted artifacts as such, or the things that you put in there, are they? Do you is that something that you do and the Boo Brothers do in terms of trying to collect these artifacts and then place them within your homes or halls or whatever it is that you're hosting these events at, or is it something that people will bring themselves? Or I'm curious in terms of, because you can have haunted places like buildings, and you can also have artifacts and things and possessions that are have spirits and are haunted and stuff. So I'm curious about how you come across these artifacts, and then B, how you use them in your different environments.
So the museum's pretty much set out in certain parts of it to different things, and the haunted artifacts, they come from cases that
Right.
Craig's done and Gemma have done. Obviously, I can't go into too much detail on them.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah,
obviously they might still be family members still alive, or things like that.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
So yeah, different parts, there's like an asylum part and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's not gimmicky, nothing like that, but everything in each part will have something attached in that room or to an item inside that room. But there is what is it now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rooms. 8 rooms inside this museum. And we Boo Brothers, you'll probably hate me saying this, but Boo Brothers, we've only contributed 1 haunted item.
Right. Okay.
So that haunted item got given to us. It was found in a house redevelopment. So we had her here in the house for about a year, and the last few months she started mimicking our children. So we basically said to Craig and Gemma, can we leave her under surveillance at the haunted museum?
Wow.
So yeah, she was copying our 1-year-old's laugh and cry.
Oh, that'll do it for me.
Yeah. It's so we had I think it was a husband and wife, and they were called, I think, if memory serves me, the Occult Family. Is that who it was?
Yeah.
And they'd been through the UK, and they'd been over to America, and they'd actually been relatively successful and sort of filmed the series and stuff. But they spoke very much about, from memory, if my memory does serve me right on the podcast, about like collecting different artifacts and different artifacts having different
energies.
Yes, auras and energies, and different artifacts would respond or act almost as though there was almost like a personification of these artifacts, and that they would react in a different way depending on who's in the room, or depending on this and that, and the aura surrounding them. And it was pretty fascinating, actually. And I think it was the Occult Family that spoke about that, and they had 2 daughters. 2 daughters.
Yes.
I think
we've got 2 children. Yeah.
And I think that they were very open about the fact that their children effectively interacted with these artifacts, and they didn't want to sort of hide it from them, and it is basically part of their just everyday existence as such. And but every now and then the artifact or whatever it was would react in a certain way, like, oh right, she's here or he's here or whatever it may be, and then they would try to, I can't remember the phrase they used. But basically, like, call out or speak to this,
communicate to them, and
communicate. Yes, and it was absolutely fascinating, and I am mildly curious. I've never really come across and never really had, well, I don't think a sort of haunted artifact in my possession as such, but I'd be really curious just to see, am I the wrong conduit for that person, or am I the one that and if it, and it goes back to what you said earlier, Lee, about, why you? So if you felt something with the artifact or in the presence of that, why would it be you and not me? Why would it be you and not? Why is that, whatever it may be, and that entity, that being, that soul, whatever it may be, why are they trying to contact you?
Yeah, that's it. It's like people react to different things anyway. I think it's for me personally, what I believe is it's how sensitive you are.
Yeah.
Your actual emotions get involved. You know, as my team keep telling me, I've got a stone heart. So, but no, when we had the doll here, she'd react to us differently. So
Wow.
with Sarah, if Sarah touched her, she used to get a headache.
Really?
Yeah, so we ended up putting her in like a perspex case. So basically, her energy couldn't get out.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
but we did a guest speaking thing at Haywood HorrorCon, and we had to put her into this case, and both of us got a headache just for that.
Wow, really?
So yeah, I think it's all down to the person, how emotional they get, how sensitive they are to things. But like I say, it all depends on the person.
Just
That's
wanted to
what
ask
I
it,
believe.
going back to what you mentioned earlier about it was that one moment where you got the tug on the back of your sort of jumper shirt sort of thing, and you couldn't place it. There was no I suppose no reasonable explanation as to why
Mm.
that happened. There was no wind. You didn't catch it or anything. There was nothing there, yet you felt this tug sort of thing. Since that moment, what's been your most extreme experience as such? You know, have you been in an environment or a place or and you've had a reaction where you've and I'm going to use a really horrible, you've sort of shit yourself and thought, fuck, like, you know, what's been your most extreme sort of experience?
To be fair, doing it how long we have, you kind of how can I say this? So best way to explain it is paranormal investigators, they'll go somewhere, try and look for evidence, try and get these bangs, knocks, things thrown or whatever.
Yeah.
And when it happens, they all shit themselves and run out. I think we're used to waiting for that. That if it does happen, it's like, oh, that's just happened.
Right.
So, but recently I were kind of frozen. Um, it was going back to this doll when I took her into the haunted museum. As soon as I walked through to the office, the loudest, most blood curdling scream happened in the museum, and there were only me in that museum,
Wow. Bloody.
and it was caught on 4 different cameras inside the museum. It was that loud, and Craig actually let us put that video clip on Facebook. So it was the loudest thing I've ever heard, and I think Craig and Gemma said the same. The years that they've had that museum, that's the loudest scream they've ever heard.
Wow. Jesus.
Yeah.
And like I say, I actually froze and popped my head in through the curtain and just said, "Is somebody in here?" I thought it was that loud. It was that loud. But that's probably the most recent one I've had,
Wow.
and I'd say it was up there in my top 3 definitely.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Yeah, I think that would just about terrify me to my very soul. So when you have people come on the investigations with you, do they have similar, not necessarily as extreme or as visceral as that, but do they? Have you ever had, basically, I'm asking, have you ever had to deal with someone who's properly shit their pants and really, not literally, but
Well,
figuratively?
no, literally as well. Well, warts and all on this podcast.
I've not had to clean up after anyone. No, not yet. Yeah. No, we've had people who've been scratched by something that's not there, and it's like trying to calm them down.
Yeah.
The best way for how I think, people probably think different of the paranormal teams, but for me, if you don't feel right or something's happened, you don't feel well, feel sick or whatever, just step out of that room, step away from that area, get away from the energy in there, go for a break, get your energy back up, and it tends to go. It
Yeah.
tends to go.
So, in terms of these things that you're experiencing, and so we call them spirits, but truthfully, like I say, it's the unknown, isn't it? So we don't truly understand what it is, how they contact, how it all works. But I know everybody generally has a belief in their own mind as to what it is. So, for yourself, is it a spiritual thing? Are you looking at it from a scientific aspect, or do is it the case of something that's beyond our comprehension?
It So for us, for me personally, I just want to know if there's life after death. That is it for me. All I want to know is if there's life after death. And um, for our team members, we've got me, who loves the tech, loves all the new equipment that comes out, things like that.
Yeah.
We've got Sarah and Lynn. They kind of like doing the research on the buildings and things like that. I don't. I don't know if it's because I can't be asked.
Yeah, that'd be like me. I'll be like, just get me in there and let me feel it. I can't be asked what it was like 40 years ago.
That's it. Then you've got poor Des, who I kind of use as bait, and I do feel sorry for him sometimes. I will say, go in that room and I'll lock him in or something like that.
Get in there,
And
you old goat. Go on, I'll film your reaction. Go on, off you go.
but yeah, I do feel tight afterwards, but at the time it has to be done. They might,
Yeah, but at the time you're like, this is great, this is amazing.
But I think because the different energy of fear,
Yeah.
if fear there, they might feed off fear. If it's so, like I say, we do all different techniques. We'll separate into each corner of a massive building or anything like that. But yeah, for me, I just want to know if there's life after death or what it's like on the other side.
So I mean, you've obviously mentioned that you heard, the blood curdling scream and this, that, and the other. So have there been? I'm making an assumption that there probably has been sort of physical manifestations in terms of doors slamming, light bulb smashing, and all of that, and you've experienced that with absolutely no, no feasible or
Explanations, anything
reasonable
like that.
explanation as to why that's happened.
Yeah, we do get it. You do get doors slamming,
Right.
banging on windows, and
Yeah.
you do get things like that. But for me, like I say, I try and debunk it.
Yes.
Could it
Yeah.
could it be that person who's just walked past with a bag on? Has it just caught on the door, or things like that? But if I can't debunk it, uh, I won't go straight to saying it's paranormal. I will try and get other teams to look at the video clip.
Right. Okay.
Then it'll be classed as unexplained.
Right.
For me, it's very hard to claim something paranormal.
Yeah.
Um,
You have to go through a process first to sort of almost you try to find every reasonable possible explanation
Yeah.
why it wasn't or isn't, and
yeah,
then once you've gone through all of those, the only actual explanation left is that it is something
yeah,
other earthly or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way I work. That
Yeah,
is the
yeah,
way
yeah.
I work.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's how pretty much most of our team work as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of the time when we've had, I think sometimes you get an idea. We've all seen Poltergeist. We've seen the people who will come and and investigate it, and you have an idea in your mind that these people are so desperate to find something that they'll almost read anything into it. But actually,
Yeah.
what we what we found from speaking to people like yourself who do this is it's quite the opposite.
Yeah.
In terms of you want to see something that can categorically not be disproved, and actually where there's an element of doubt, you're still not willing to nail your
Yeah.
colours to the flag, and
Yeah.
I find that interesting, and that says to me you guys are coming at it from completely the right aspect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, in terms
Yeah.
of of selling the story, as it were, but also
Yeah.
at the same time you need the facts. We need the evidence,
But
even though knowing that evidence might
That's
be.
it. But in the paranormal now, it's just so much fakery out there.
Yeah,
You know?
gimmick. I was literally just about to say, there's so many gimmicks where you can imagine people going, "Oh, come and look at this! It's this," and you're like, "Really? Come on, guys!" You know, it's
That's
that plastic and fake and all of that.
that's it. You know, and it's all about YouTube subscribers and TikTok followers,
Yeah,
and that's why we don't do it.
Yeah.
We don't do YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. There's nothing on it. We've got a TikTok profile. We'll advertise little bits, but it won't be mostly evidence or anything like that. If we do get evidence, we will put it on Facebook. But it won't be classed as paranormal. It'll be, look what we've caught. Can anyone explain this?
yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
Let's get everyone involved in it.
And it's great. As Adam said, it's great that you almost come from we're desperately trying to debunk this, and if anybody is out there that can provide an explanation for this, then go ahead, because we're more than happy to go with that. But if people can't, there still has to be an explanation, but it might not necessarily be the explanation that the majority of people might want, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, it's great that almost you're coming from it from that point of view. And Adam's right. The people that we've had on talking about paranormal are very similar to you in that they literally will go to like the nth degree just to debunk something.
Yeah. Almost trying to prove what they've seen wrong.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
felt it. They've experienced it. They've
Yeah.
seen it. They've felt it. They've heard it, and they've gone, "No, it can't be that. There
Yeah.
must be another explanation for it." And then they go through all of those processes, and then they get to a point where they go, "Well, actually, it can only be that."
Yeah. That's the best way. That for me, that is the best way you can look at it, because otherwise you're going to be. There might be a water pipe in the wall that rattles, and then it's if you heard that, it's paranormal. It's paranormal, that, and you're like, well, hold on, turn that tap back on. Oh, it's making the same noise, so it's got to be a water pipe or something related to that water pipe.
Yeah.
So why say it's paranormal?
But I can guarantee there'll be people out there that'll go, "Oh, come to this place. Oh my God, you'll hear this and you'll hear this." And actually, they'll claim it's paranormal, but it really isn't. It's just like a loose tap or a loose whatever, or a water pressure or a pump or something. But there'll be people out there exploiting other people's want to believe sort of nature, and they go, "Oh, come and look at it. We've had this and we've had this," and you're like, "Oh, come on, really?" Yeah,
that is bang on. That is the nail on the head there. And we've been to places where we've been told, "Oh, it's really haunted, really haunted." Right, okay, we'll go and try it out. So all four of us will go. We have nothing. We think, all right, spirits, they're not performing monkeys. They're not going to be there every day. You know what I mean? So we'll book it again. So went back again. Nothing happened. And we were like, we can't be like the unluckiest people ever. I've heard people raving about it. So I think we ended up going 4 times to this place.
Wow.
And not once did we get anything from a tap, a bang, no equipment going off. And I just thought, we're either the unluckiest people in the world, or
they're mugging you off.
There's nothing here, or there's nothing here.
Yeah.
So we do get places like that. But also you get the places where it is really good.
Yeah. And me and Adam, we've spoken on a podcast before about going. There's a place in Macclesfield that's meant to be like a really haunted place, and okay, when we first started the podcast, we were like, "Oh, we'll do loads of broadcasts from elsewhere," and then a couple of years ago, pandemic and post-pandemic, we couldn't go and do the places that we wanted to go, because we'd love to go and do outside broadcasts and take radio on the road and do various things. And we had all these grand ideas about doing X, Y, and Z, and it hasn't happened yet. But we've got loads of places, and one of the places was this place in Macclesfield, and myself and Adam spoke, and Andy, who was the guy on the podcast with us at the time, and he's like, "Yeah, I can do that," but we might go there and we might not see anything, feel anything, hear anything. And me and Adam are very much, well, cool, we'll still have a piss up, it'll be fine. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's fine.
Well,
We'll just go from that out. But if we do, then we do. You know,
yeah,
and
that's it.
that's and I think that's the attitude that certainly myself and Adam are there. It's like, you know, we're not desperate to
Get
experience,
anything.
but
That's
if
it.
we do, then we do, and that's okay. But we're not going to go out and absolutely crave and then look into something. And as I say, if it is a curtain moving, then it's just a curtain moving, and we're not going to read into something that isn't. And
Yeah.
if we don't feel anything, we don't feel anything. It's one of those.
Yeah, well, it's like us, like I'll always say, you know, we get to go to areas that the public can't go.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So we can go in, say, for instance, there's an old jail inside a castle or something. You know, public don't get to go down there on their tours, yet we get access to all areas. So you think, like, it's a 500-year-old building or whatever, might be older. And you think, just look at it, how good it is, you know. And if we get anything, it's a bonus. You know, that's how I look at it. These buildings that we go to, and like the architecture and all that, you think, then if you get something evidence-wise, it's a bonus.
So be it. Yeah. So you've had a good night, you've a good day, night, overnight, whatever it may be, and I say if it doesn't happen, then so be it. But I suppose if you see, I'd be a little bit. What's the place in Macclesfield?
The Bates Hall.
The Bates Hall. Yeah. So if we went there, I'd be like, okay, we'll go there. First time, okay, didn't see anything. Okay, it's meant to be like the most haunted, one of the most haunted places. This, that, and the other. Okay, well, we'll go back. Second time. Okay, we must be pretty unlucky. And going back to what you said, Lee, God Christ, we must be the most unlucky fuckers around here. So, you know, and by the third time you go, you'd be like, really? They've said literally every time you come, you see something. We've now been 3 times and we've never seen it, sort of thing. So we'd be a bit hacked off if that was the case. But we're not desperate to. I suppose we're not like the sort of the Mulder in the X-Files, and we're desperate to see something that isn't. You know, we're not that. But similarly, I think we're pretty open-minded in terms of actually, if there is something, then we're not necessarily really quick just to dismiss it, which Dave would be.
Yeah.
You know, if Dave was on the podcast, he literally would be.
Yeah.
Nah, there has to be a reasonable explanation. It's an atmospheric change. It's this, it's that, it's weather, it's temperature, it's whatever it may be. And he would really go out of his way to debunk it, sort of thing.
Yeah. But that's the thing, though, with spirits. So they can actually change the atmosphere.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So when he goes on about that, just say, yeah, well, it could be.
It could be that. Yeah. I need to say that next time.
Because we get equipment. We've got equipment that will read the atmosphere. So it'll tell you if it's changed, a drop in temperature or a rise in temperature. You know, So, you know, I think Sarah hates it when I start looking at equipment because I just buy everything I can see.
What was the thing that? So we had a lad on here, and he sort of guested on our podcast sort of a few times, and he's a bit of a believer. Ken, I'm on about now.
Yeah,
and he has this. Did he say it's like a listening device, and almost it's like I'm going to show my ignorance now. It's like almost it registers like not static noise, but it's stuff behind the static noise, and he puts it on this frequency, and it can basically.
Oh, spirit box.
Is that what it's called? Is it a spirit box? Is that what he said it was called?
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. So he like it's like, is it EVPs or whatever, electronic voices and what have you? Yeah, spirit box. I'm sure it was.
I'm sure it's that. Yeah.
And he's done something before, isn't he? Where because he was having some strange experiences as he slept, and he had it recording, didn't he? So it was literally
through the night,
picking up everything that while he was asleep. I'm not sure I'd want to know, to be honest.
No, but literally, he said there were things through the night, and you're like, oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, as you said, I'm not sure. Fancy that, but
some things you better not know, and I do believe that.
Well, particularly when you're asleep. I don't know when I'm asleep. I don't really need to know. So
yeah, that's it. So yeah, I'd be interested to hear about some of the places that you have visited. Then, any places you can tell us about, any experiences that you've had there.
So Newsham Park Hospital in Liverpool.
Right.
Heard of that one? It was an orphanage as well.
Yeah.
We've had some good investigations there. We've had a woman get scratched in there twice
Wow.
by sitting in an electric chair that they used to use, or it was basically, I think it was just the electric therapy that they used to give people. So we found that in one of the rooms, and this woman sat in it, and she ended up getting scratched.
And when you say scratched, was it literally like she got scratched and then there was
There
effectively
was no blood drawn.
right, but you could
Right.
see the scratch lines on her
Yes.
arm or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it was on her back.
Oh, okay.
So, but obviously straight away I look at the chair. Is there anything sharp on the chair? And
Yeah, how she
there
moved
were
around,
nothing.
she wriggled or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, so Newsham Park's good. There's loads. There's loads. St. George's Hall, another one in Liverpool.
Right.
We went to Cregionos in Wales. Went to Cregionos in Wales. That was interesting. That's classed as a castle, but it's actually a mansion.
Right.
So slept over there. There's just loads
So many.
we've been to. There's just loads.
So that's one thing that I've seen you guys do then as well. So as well as doing investigations, you do your sleepovers and what have you in places like that.
Yeah.
I know I'm a big guy, but I do scare easy. I do believe that. So I think I would. I'm not. I don't know, dude. It must take some bollocks to stay over in some places like that. Because in a deep dark night, your imagination can play tricks
Yeah.
with you, can't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the slightest little bit of noise, it can put the willies up you if you bomb a choice.
I think we're all, and you go back to the film and TV and all of that, and for like, look, growing up for me, your typical sort of slasher movie was a bit like, yeah, okay, it's entertaining, it's pretty cool, but it's a bit unrealistic. Whereas your psychological, paranormal sort of films, you'd be like, actually, that could be more of a reality for me, and they would be the ones that would shit me up more, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong, your Friday Friday the 13th, where okay, you might have a maniac going around with a mask on and slashing up people and stuff, but your Nightmare on Elm Street, nah, really? There's a physical manifestation of somebody in somebody's dreams that's going to slash people up. Nah, not having that. It was entertaining, it's decent, but then you think Poltergeist. Actually, that could happen. People have had experiences where poltergeists have either physically or whatever. And what was the other one? Oh God, what it was called now.
Paranormal Activity. That's one.
Paranormal Activity. That's one. And all of these type of films where you think, oh my God, this family have been, they've been invaded by either poltergeists or specters or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
And I think actually that could happen. And
It could happen, yeah.
Nobody's going to infect my dreams and then come and kill me in my dream and slash my like Freddy or whatever. That's just a horror film. Whereas the unknown for me is way more scary. And I actually found Poltergeist way more scary than your typical slasher films. Just because of the TV and the thing and the little girl, and you're like, oh my God, like shit, that like you might get that.
I mean, psychologically, it is a bit more scary. But I don't know if you know this, Nightmare on Elm Street is actually based on a true story.
Yeah, whatever.
It is. It is. I mean, it's very, very loosely based. It was based on a guy who moved to the States.
I think it is, yeah.
It is, yeah. It's a guy who moved to the States from Malaysia.
I think it's...
He experienced some horrible, horrible things in his life and was having terrible, terrible nightmares. And he passed away in his sleep whilst experiencing the nightmares.
I've got no doubt that's the case, but the manifestation of somebody then slashing him in it and all of that, I have no doubt that people will have passed away having horrible, horrible dreams. I've got no doubt about that whatsoever.
Robert Englund was there.
Yeah.
Robert Englund was hiding in the like this, peeking behind the thing. Like,
yeah, no, we got famously distracted again.
There's your left turn.
Yeah. One thing that tends to divide opinion when we get people on who investigate these kind of things. Ouija boards, is that something that you use?
Yeah.
So you
there
have
you go, straight answer, yeah.
Yeah, it was a straight. It was
Oh
a
no,
straight.
because
It's
loads
the
of
straightest answer we've had.
no,
so
but
far.
yeah, absolutely no, like, and absolutely because loads of people go, well, I'm not sure. They're like you're like straight up, yeah, we use them.
Yeah.
And I've got no issue with that. And if you use them and you use them, and yeah, absolutely. So how would you use them, and how often do you use them, and what are your experiences of using them?
Use them quite a lot, to be fair with you. It's a load of shite what you see in these Hollywood movies. I'll be honest
Yeah,
with you.
yeah,
You know, you won't get thrown across the bloody floor or whatever.
yeah,
You know, people will probably call me out for this, but yeah, demons won't come out the board. It's a load of shite.
yeah.
It is. It is. I'll tell the truth. It is. You know.
So what
So
are the
yeah,
benefits of the
we
Ouija
use
board?
them.
And so if you say that you're not going to get spirits that come out of the glass or come out of the board or come out the pointer or whatever it may be, so why would what's the conduit for if you're using a Ouija board to contact sort of another realm, another world, and whatever it may be? Where's the conduit? That is it the pointer? Is it you as a person? Do you feel possession?
You
Wrong
feed the
word.
energy into the board.
Right. Okay.
So your energy from your fingertips on that planchette, which is then touching the board, that should give the energy to the spirit,
Okay.
whoever
Right.
is trying
Okay.
to communicate with you. That's how it should work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but
But invariably, you prepubescent sort of 13, 14-year-olds who are around a table, and they're like, "Oh, stop pushing it." No, I'm not pushing it, and all of that. And no, it's I can see you pushing it.
you still get that. You will still get that. I'll be honest with
Really?
you.
Do you
You
literally
will.
get people just trying to
You
manipulate it? And yeah,
Well, that's the thing. Is that these videos that you see online are these people who want views. These
yeah, yeah,
people who
yeah,
want try and make a name for themselves by doing stuff like that. You know, because at the minute you'll always see demons. You know, it's a demon. It's a demon coming for us. It's
Yeah.
yeah, you're full of shit. There you go.
No,
It is.
yeah, it's unfortunate as well now with the technology that you have on your laptop at home, the technology you have on on your mobile phone. It's very, very easy to actually make something look quite authentic when unfortunately it
Yeah.
isn't. And like you say, there's a number of people that will do it for attention. I can tell you a Ouija board story myself that we did when we were young, and there was four of us doing it, and we were around a friend's house, his parents away, we'd all had a bit to drink, and we started moving, the glass starts moving, and we're thinking, that's fine. It spelled out a few words, didn't mean anything to anybody. I have to say, none of it was
yeah.
really sort of hitting home with anybody. And then at that point, this guy's dog went absolutely apeshit. It's outside at the back.
Hmm.
It's going absolutely apeshit
I
at the
remember you
window we
saying
are.
this, yeah.
And it is, I mean, this dog, his heckles are up. He's utterly terrified. And we're like,
Yeah.
dude, I thought you said you were going to put your dog in the kitchen. He goes, no, I did. I promise you. I put my dog in the kitchen. And he went through to the kitchen to check it. At that point, the kitchen door to the outside slammed shut in front of him. And this dude came back in the house. And I'm telling you, he was white. He was terrified. This dog is going apeshit outside. So my brother says, look, that's it. We've got to break the glass. So my brother's a big guy and he's got a strong arm. And so he takes his glass, he goes into the garage and he threw it on the floor as hard as he could. And the glass bounced. I have never seen
Yeah.
anything like it in my life. This glass bounced and went straight back up, drop, 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 and then smashed. And we're like, I think we're going to go home, Jeff. Yeah, it was terrifying. It was terrifying.
Yeah, it's all depends. All depends what you get and who you're with as well.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
if there's loads of you and you get the right energy, you'll have a great night.
Yeah.
You'll have a great night. Whereas if you get someone who's a bit grumpy, miserable, you do notice it affects the energy actually in the room or the building that you're in.
Right.
Yeah, we had it. Was it Emily Waterston? I think her name is. I'm terrible with names, but I believe that's the
Oh,
name.
Emily. Yeah.
Yeah,
Emily.
yeah. So we've had her on the podcast before, and she's talked about that. And she said they do stuff to lift the spirits sometimes, not literally. You know what I mean? Bad choice of words, but to get everybody's like energy going before they do.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
everybody left in the right frame of mind before they do something like a spirit board or a
Yeah.
Ouija board, just so that they get the right reaction out of people.
Yeah, that's
And I suppose, and I don't know, but you know, if there's a couple of guys, you know, you're doing a Ouija board, and there's a couple of guys that are a bit like sort of thing. Is that, does that mean that the Ouija board or the spirits then are not receptive or more receptive, or if everybody's like, right, we definitely want to believe, or we're ready to go, or does that make a difference? And I don't know, because to me, part of me being a slight skeptic, I suppose I'm still a
Yeah.
slight skeptic at heart, but from what I believe I've seen and witnessed and stuff, I'm not. Um, I suppose loads of people go to like Ouija. Oh, I'll do Ouija board tonight. Oh, okay, we might see something, but are they genuinely hoping that they see something, or is it just a play along and kid along and oh, I really hope we do, but actually deep down, nah, I
It's
really
shit
don't.
in it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
because they're shitting it because
No,
it might be them.
you do. You get people like that anyway. You know, when we did like public events where anyone could come, you know, you get the big lad. Oh, I'm not scared. You know, it's a load
Yeah.
of shit. Then something will happen. And he's the first one stood behind one of us, going, "What was that? What was that?" You know.
Yeah,
But the energy of the people is a massive part. You
right.
know, like you've been told. You know, if people are raring to go, they want to get involved. You know, a bit of adrenaline there. It does help. Whereas if,
Yeah,
like, say, you get someone hungover type, and they're like, I don't really want to be here.
yeah,
Well, leave then. You know where the
yeah.
door is.
Do one then. Yeah, do one,
And that
dickhead. Yeah, doors there. You know
you,
what I mean?
you do get people like that though.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm really curious, just, and people talk about malevolence and malevolent and all of this, and you know, has there been an occasion where in not you were hoping to encounter something, but something's happened where you felt as though actually it took a bit of a dark turn, and actually you were a bit like, actually, in a way, we need to shut this down, or this isn't going the way that we wanted to, or
Um, we do get them. We do get dark things happen.
yeah,
But if you know what you're doing, you're fine.
right,
You know,
okay,
don't you know? You get people who trying to provoke,
right,
antagonize, and it's just got to see it as like us three talking. I'm not
yeah,
going to start provoking you guys. You know, why would you do it to someone who we're
yeah,
living? You-
yeah,
you- what we
yeah,
say is just respect. Talk to people how you'd like to be spoken to. I know they're not here anymore, but they can still understand you if they're answering you. And
yeah, of
so
course, yeah,
why wind people up or wind the spirits up? There's just no
right,
need. But sometimes I'll hold my hands up. I've done it. Try and get a reaction to see if I can get them to lift something up, throw something. You know, but most of the time the energy just disappears when you start doing it. I've
right.
noticed.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Like you say, they're not there to perform parlor tricks, are they? I don't
Yeah,
suppose.
No,
yeah,
No, no.
this
So
this is why you won't always get everything that you want.
no,
Sometimes
no.
it might be really active, sometimes it'll be quiet.
Yeah, that's it. I guess that's it. We all have days when we're a little bit quieter ourselves, don't we? A little
Yeah.
less active. Certainly now as I knock on years, I get more and more of these days.
absolutely, yeah. As the years roll on,
Yeah. So in terms of it's a difficult one. This, so I'm not 100% sure you'll be able to answer. So you're looking for categorical proof of life after death, life on the other side, that there is
Yeah,
something beyond this sort of mortal existence that we have. What
yeah.
what for you would prove it? What do you need to see that could categorically say to you there is something beyond this mortal realm?
I'd want at least three things happen at the same time. So I'd want to see full apparition, and I'd want that full apparition's voice to come through one of the bits of equipment whilst it's still there. I'm not asking for a lot. And and also I'd want a bit of equipment to prove that apparition is something that I'm seeing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, to be fair,
That that's
it's a
not
big
a lot, really.
it is quite a big ask. It's quite a big ask, that. But I
Perfect.
think I think you're right to need to see something like that. You know, I hope you or somebody else does discover it, because there's a little bit of me that would like to think that there is life beyond this mortal realm that we currently exist in. And I don't know. I don't fully understand what a spirit is, you know, whether there's an electromagnetic nature to it and there is a scientific explanation that can categorically prove what one is, or it is entirely spiritual. It is something that's visiting us from another realm, or just that the two realms are intertwined some
Yeah.
way that we don't thoroughly understand.
I think that's it. I think you hit the nail on the head. We just don't know, do we? And it might take another 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 100 years. We don't know the relationship between our world and the other world, or the life after death, or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
We just don't understand it enough to be able to say either it does or it doesn't, because there'd be thousands and millions of people that believe that there is a link, and there'll be millions and millions of people that don't believe there's a link. So I think until, there's proof and categoric proof either one way or the other,
Yeah.
we just don't know. So therefore, you'll get people that will believe, and you'll get people that don't. And this is really cool. And you go back to the X-Files, and you look at David Duchovny, you look at Mulder, who wants to believe, and then you look at Gillian Anderson and Scully, who says, "No, absolutely not. I will do everything in my power to debunk
Yeah.
every single thing that's happened, and I will try from a scientific point of view to prove that you're wrong," sort of thing. And obviously, eventually, she sort of did believe.
Yeah.
And is that where we're at? And we're trying desperately to prove it doesn't exist and it's not real, but actually maybe it does.
That's it. Because I think over the years they create layers in between the worlds. So you might have a spirit come through who died in, say, the 1400s.
Yeah.
So it might be a child who can't understand our language now, because
Yeah.
obviously the amount of slang we use. And
Yeah.
so we also take that into consideration as well, the way we speak when we're calling out. So you might, for a Ouija board, for instance, you might be talking to a 2-year-old child, can't spell.
Yeah.
So it might just be random letters coming through.
Yeah.
So try a different way to find out. So we're trying different ways to find out if there's different layers in these worlds. And
Yeah.
but
That makes sense.
you're not gonna do it overnight. It's not gonna happen. There's thousands of paranormal teams out there, and hopefully one day everyone will get to work together, because I don't know if you guys know, but the paranormal field is quite a toxic place.
Yeah.
There's people who want to be famous, people who just want views, subscribers, people who want to
Bit of
find the
clickbait.
actual evidence, and
Yeah.
hopefully
Yeah.
that is our team,
But
viewers.
ultimately, all your paranormal investigators, well, I hope, are sort of out for this. Look, this is me being really naive, and I'm not really this naive, but all the
Say
paranormal
it.
investigators are sort of out for the same thing, aren't they? So
Yeah,
if
correct.
if one group of paranormal investigators finds something, then surely they should be celebrating. Go, woo! Like, oh my god! Like that's like the Holy Grail. That's what we've been looking for. But I can guarantee if that happened, you get loads of people going, nah, fuck that. Like,
Fake.
and
It's fake.
it's fake.
It's
Yeah,
fake.
exactly. Yeah. So
It is. That's
to
exactly
me,
how the paranormal field is.
yeah. So which to me is like almost diametrically opposed. It's like they found the thing that we're looking for, but yeah, bollocks to that, because we need to find it. And if anybody else finds it, then it's fake. But if we find it, then that's okay. And you're like, yeah, that sort of is a bit weird to me.
Yeah, that's how it seems to me. So, like I say, the only time we post anything Facebook, it'll be evidence that we've caught, which we can't debunk,
Can
or
anybody
we're
else debunk?
stumped. Yeah, or we're stumped.
Yeah.
or it'll just be a video of, if you've seen this, what do you guys see? Or if you've seen this, can you guys explain this?
Yeah.
So it's not, all our videos are not like, you've seen this, it's paranormal. It's nothing like that.
Right.
So, but but hopefully, like we say, one day we will get that
I hope so.
end
I hope so.
goal.
Indeed.
So,
Indeed. I'll be curious to leave then. Like I say, we normally wrap these things up round about the hour mark. But two things I'd like to ask you. One, is there anywhere you'd really, really like to visit and haven't done yet? And second of all, we do get all sorts of different people listen to our podcast because we do something every single week. So just leave us with one little bit of advice for anybody who's out there who's interested in the paranormal and investigating it and how they would get started.
and if people want to get started, you don't need any experience. I'll be honest with you. You'll hear the phrase of these people are experts. Yeah, no one in the paranormal field is an expert. No one in the paranormal field is a professional. It's just down to your knowledge, basically, and experience. You're not an expert.
Yeah.
If you ever want to get started, there's thousands of teams out there who run events or do investigations. Like I say, hit them up, hit us up if we've got any spaces on any coming up. More than welcome to join us. Like I say, you don't need to be into it. We get skeptics.
Yeah.
So, but if you are going to do it, just go with an open mind.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. Go with an open mind.
That's good advice. And where can people find you then on social media?
So you can find us at Boo Brothers. So Boo Brothers, we're on Facebook, and we do have a website, guys, which is boobrothers.co.uk, and we will have events coming up, or investigations coming up, and also we are running a charity investigation that we are doing. We're raising money for dementia and Alzheimer's.
Right.
Where we will be doing a live stream from inside the Haunted Museum in Stoke.
Nice.
And you can watch that live on Facebook. It's only £5 donation, and you get
Brilliant.
to watch the live stream. That's in September. And we are raffling prizes off as well in there, from famous people, celebrities in the paranormal field, like your Patti Negri, your Liz Carmel, your Neil Stories, historian, Penny Morgan. We've
Right.
even got festival tickets to the Festival of the Unexplained up for grabs as well, guys.
Brilliant.
So there's loads, but it's all on our Facebook page. All that information here. If anyone ever wants to know anything, ask any questions, we will help. Just give us a message.
Fair play. Fair
Superb.
play. Yeah, so if you are interested, as they do, head there to their website, boobrothers.co.uk. We'll stick a link in the audio version of this podcast, so you can click on it. It'll take you straight there. And also you can find them on Facebook, and we'll stick those links on our website as well. We always do a micro blog about the episode, and I'll put those links on there, so hopefully people can find you from there. So Lee, thank you very much for joining us. It's been interesting. We always are fascinated by people who look into the unexplained. We're interested by the unexplained ourselves, and we have spent some time investigating it, not as much as perhaps we'd like to, but it's something we'd like to do more of in the future. So maybe, just maybe, you might get a couple of idiots joining you on one of your future
Let me know who they are. Let me know who they are, and I'll ban them.
Well, I'll let you know.
Yeah. It will. It'll be the two of us. We'll come up and create some minor chaos while we're there. No, we definitely, it's something that we need to do. It's something that we need to do. We've got some audio equipment ourselves that maybe we could bring along and try and record something going bump in the night. And hopefully it won't be one of us this time.
But I just want to say a big thank you to Lee and for joining us on the podcast. It is something that both myself and Adam, myself and Adam have known each other for donkey's years, probably too many years that we care to remember. But we've known each other. We're both the wrong side of 50 now, and it's crikey sort of 30, 35 odd years since we've known each other, sort of thing. So, and we've always had a bit of a sort of fascination with the paranormal, and it's something that and we've done loads of episodes on the podcast, and it's something that we can't escape from, but every now and then we just have somebody else that will come on, and somebody else that'll come on, and somebody else that'll come on, and it seems to be like a recurring theme in our sort of our podcasters that we have paranormal investigators on, and it's amazing, Lee, that you've come on and you've given us your perspective on what you do and your take on it, and that's I again I just I thank you for your sort of for your content and joining us,
Thanks for
and
having me.
just we wish you all the best in the Boo Brothers and what it is that you're doing, and I can't wait really till the next time that you come on and you can talk about that experience that you've had and actually talk about the events that you've hosted, etc., etc. So again, big thank you from me, and look forward to the next time that we speak to you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. It's been a pleasure.
An absolute pleasure. Like Gaz says, anytime you want to come back on, then you are more than welcome. As for us, that's us for this week. We will be back again next week with something entirely different again. So thank you for listening.